All right, let me say this. Boxing is my first love. I love boxing. Really, I do. But I've been watching UFC here lately. Mainly because guys like this. Jon Jones. I like watching him. He's an exciting fighter. The UFC has a lot of exciting fighters. And the one thing I like about the UFC is you have to fight each other. You don't have no promoter. You got your trainers. Dana White says, jump. You say how high. You have to fight. And the only thing I don't like about the UFC is they have different organizations. You got the UFC, then you have like Strikeforce. Even though the UFC owns Strikeforce now, it's different organizations, and they have belts within their own deal. See, like boxing, like when you got the WBO or WBC belt, it's like, or for weight class, it's worldwide. UFC is just structured in UFC. That's the only thing I don't like. But some of a lot of the type, anybody just can't get in UFC. You can't just get into UFC. You got to be good enough to get in there, and then they'll kick you out. But you have to fight each other. This Mayweather Pacquiao shit wouldn't even be going on because you ain't got no promoter. Dana White say, hey, y'all got to fight. You got to fight. And see, that's why Top Rank Bob Arum is using his Top Rank like his own UFC, like his own organization inside of boxing. So that's why he fights all in-house fights, because he don't have to worry about dealing with another promoter. It's all in-house. He makes them fight. They gotta fight. They gotta fight. It's when there's other promoters and people can't come to an agreement. That's bullshit. Boxing is going down the tube. I hate to say it. That's only a handful of fighters that I watch. But you can get in the UFC. I like the light heavyweight division. That's the light heavyweight is my favorite division. I need to start getting back in the smaller weight divisions. I'm not really a hardcore UFC guy. I'm getting into it more so now. And that's another thing I don't like about UFC. I wish it was more so like boxing. Like when they have a pay-per-view event on Saturday, it comes on cable the following weekend. See, only how you going to follow UFC, you got to be hardcore. You got to know. And then they throw the little bullshit fighters on the cable channels sometimes. Not none of the top guys, the champions. They don't just play them like that. And then that's not bringing in the casuals. If you want to really take over, they have to do shit like that. Get a Showtime contract, have all this shit play on Showtime or whatever. And see, they have too many issues. You know, you got Bruce Buffer, and see, Showtime want to use their own announcers and shit like that, like Jimmy Lennon and whoever. And there's a conflict. So, you know, I think UFC still has some ways to go. If they want to take it to the next level with more exposure, I think they need to have pay-per-view, then show it on cable the following week so the casual people can get into the sport. You know, otherwise it's just going to be hardcore guys. You know, you got to go to, you know, it's just crazy. Yes, I know I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings, restaurants, and watch the fights, but sometimes I don't want to be in there where motherfuckers just drunk and yelling and screaming in my ear. Then I'm going to have to turn into an MMA fighter. Jon Jones, I mean, he's the truth. I don't like Rashad Evans. I never have. He's cocky, arrogant. I'm glad Jon Jones beat him easy. You know, a lot of his Jon Jones haters say that he's beating a lot of has-beens and washed up before he fought Rashad. Then when he got Rashad's ass down, they trying to create other guys. You know what I'm saying? He's just that good. They can't fuck with him. I want him to stay at light. Don't go up to heavyweight. Stay at light heavy. I want the Spider, Anderson Silva, to come up because that's the only guy that's going to give Jon Jones problems. I don't know who's going to win that fight. But this is how I'm late in the game on UFC. I've never seen GSP fight. What do they call him? John St. Pierre. I've never seen him fight. I had to watch little clips here on YouTube. And I just started watching some. But I've never seen an actual fight of his. You can't post shit on YouTube because UFC to get that shit pulled down so fucking fast, it ain't even funny. But I'm starting to get back into, I'm starting to get into UFC, man. I really am. I'm going to keep up with this shit. I'm going to keep up with this shit because these guys, they fight each other. And they might not get paid as much as the boxing guys. Some of the top guys like, Rashad Evans and them, they get paid. Hell, fucking, the UFC is in, I didn't realize the UFC is endorsing, Johnny Jones, Bones. I didn't know that. But he's the truth, man. 6'4", reach, all that stuff. I mean, he's good, man. Student of the game, man. He's the Mayweather of that UFC, man. I don't want him to go. Don't go up to a heavyweight. Stay at light heavy. You're only 24 years old. You go up to heavy when you're in your 30s. Fight Anderson Silva, or hopefully Anderson Silva can come up and they talk about him fighting GSP, or hopefully Dana make them fight. They gotta fight. It ain't no fucking negotiating, falling apart, none of that shit. But I'm getting in this UFC, man. John Jones, my favorite UFC fighter. John Jones is one of them. Anderson Silva, they like equal. I ain't never seen nothing like either one of them. John Jones and kind of he kind of fight like Anderson Silva anyway. Who else do I like from UFC? Those are the main two. I still kind of like Rampage Jackson. Never liked Rashad. I watched some shit on Strikeforce. I got to get into this MMA. I'm digging it.